This is Crimey Queen. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is my personal journey of actualizing soulful love. I hope it is yours too. So far, we have been doing presentations on truth and presence. There were elders that I met on my journey of actualizing soulful love, where I wrote 2 volumes of The Crimson Light. And also, I have been doing presentations on sacrifice. The word sacrifice derived, of course, from one of those presentations, and really in a way of connecting with what I felt has, or I still feel, has shaped our beingness as, particularly as Christians, or has shaped how we think, how we behave, and overall our psyche. So I now think that the word sacrifice has been so embedded in us that sometimes we use it more like on a superficial level without really taking time to understand the inner depth of the 22 words that birthed out of that exercise I done in one of the past presentations. So I am continuing to explore the word sacrifice. The word sacrifice, of course, as we have seen, in equals 10. And also, I thought I would look at what relation that the numbers 1, 2, and 3, when added together, what numerical value it holds that makes us want to seek Christ, the number 5, when we become a new creature. What is it about number 5 that we are needing to take us onto this side here where there was no need or inclination to want to change those letters? So these 11 letters here, I had no inclination wanting to change them. And as I say, because I work intuitively, I believe that I am guided, divinely guided to do this. I don't know exactly what the outcome of these exercises are becoming, but I know with intention, married with attention for a good purpose, there must be some good out of it. And so I am going with that which feels and speaks to my spirit. And I believe also, if you're watching this, it's not by chance. Okay, so here I have added these numbers, and as I've showed, it's also it tallies to the number 10. So in numerology, we say it's 1, of course, because we are starting a new cycle. I believe that the 0 is really a representation of reminding us of that wholeness. We are whole. So if I was to start a point here and go around, then that is really the whole. I know it seems a silly exercise, but there is no break in that cycle here. It is whole. But I think 1 is really a way of demonstrating we are ready to create. We are ready to conceive or start a new venture, a new purpose, a new project, a new discovery. So it's like we are taking rise to act, because on the circle, as a circle, we know circles are going one way, rolling downhill, or we just put it this way. But if we have, in for our purpose of getting sense of ourselves and making a way of making sense of our development and creativity, if we see that circle all the time, it is perhaps a little bit difficult to tell from what spectrum of that circle we are operating from. So hence we have these other figures, I'm sure, that has been devised from the cosmos or wherever um, these clever people had come up with these numbers. So there we are. I also must point out that I know that there are other forms or Roman numbers and that sort of thing, but I believe in every learning, there is a sub language, if you like. It's like if you were in a country, for instance, or the St. Lucia where I come from, which was also ruled by both English and French, and the Dutch at one time as well, or the Spaniards were there. But we have cultivated a language that derived from all of these languages where we speak Creole. So there is that language there. So this is what I am seeing with numerology. It is a language. It is a sacred language for a sacred people, or of course it's available to everyone as a language is available to other people, whether they haven't learned it yet, but they can learn it. And so this is what I am feeling about numerology. Okay. So there we are. Looking at the relation with sacrifice and numbers 1 to 10. So as I have said, I believe that this is a direct weight or measurement, because that had to fit into being that sacrificial lamb, if you like, lamb. Let's just check out the word lamb, Lamb. This is not to deviate too much. That 3, 1, 4, 2. Okay, that's 3 and 1, 4, 4 and 4, 8, 8 and 2, 10. We see 10 here again. Now, that's really interesting. That's interesting. That's really interesting. This is where we hear the Lamb of the world who took away the sins of the world, Lamb, the Christ being the Lamb of the world. And this is also 10. I am intrigued by this. Okay. So we see that here. So lamb, sacrifice, and this addition here is all on the same spectrum. And it's as if we are 10, meaning 10 that we are not only 10 here from 1 to 9, but there's also a 10 transpiring in these four numbers. There's also a 10 here that is transpiring to show that direct connection, to show the relation of when we are not yet conscious of that Christ spirit within us. Isn't that delicious? Wow. So the sacrifice is really, in actual fact, this is really sweet. Sacrifice is actually, in from hair to hair, there is a cycle for sacrifice. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. Wow. Now, the other thing that happens here is that we are told Satan, of course, is responsible for the sins of man, or sin came into the world through Satan. And Satan, Satan, also comes to 10. I have done this, and it's directly the number 10. 2, 1, 5. So we have 1, 1, 2, 1, 5. So that's 2, 4, and 6, 10. So Satan is 10. Let's just do this where it's clearer. Satan is 10. So we are seeing that although I've got to come back to this number here, so we are seeing how 10 is transpiring in our psyche, if you like, that Christ would have this need to come and save us or die for us or come show us how to live. All right. Now, what happens here? From here, I think from here, because we've added this, it'd just be interesting to add these here. It just come to mind. I might have done it before, but so 5 and 6, 11. 11 and 7 is 18. 18 and 8 is 26. 26 and 9 is 35. Hmm, I'll do that again. So 5 and 6, 11. 11 and 7 is 18. 18 and 8 is 26. 26 and 9. Let's just do it here. I really don't want 26 and 9. So that's 15. That's 35. So this 35 here, this is really interesting. This is interesting, and I'll show you why. So this 35 is actually corresponding. So we have Satan coming here from this developmental stage here. And this 35, I'm going to stick 35 here in the corner. Oh, 35. 35. So if we add 5, 6 here, this here, we get 35. This 35, and I hadn't done this before, is also corresponding to the word sinners, because I've done sinners before and I know that sinners is 35. So I also want to talk about this structure of how these numbers come about, because I'm really fascinated with how these 3 5s, which is denoting the new hair, this is interesting. Okay, this is delicious. So these 3 5s here are right in the middle, and it's also showing the middle of the word sinners. 1 and 9 at the end, 9 and 1 at the end here. Here. So we have 1 9 5 5 5 9 1. This is really delicious. So what I am intrigued about, let's hold on to this for now, because this is 35, which equals 8. And we know that 8 from past presentations is where you are in headquarters. I use these here to help make sense of not only the letters, but now they are actually resonating in a certain frequency of vibration that I feel really has the answer to how numerology and sacrifice in this context really plays out in our lives. It seemed to be really giving us some direct answers to how we have become um, spiritually conditioned, if you like, spiritually aware, spiritually savvy, spiritually inclined. Let's use incline. But not only spiritually, because it's a word we find that has its resonance in everything we do. It's very likely to hear someone saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have to sacrifice this for something else." It's the word we use to express delayed gratification or no gratification in a certain context, because we are looking for something else. So we sacrifice. We say we really not. It's like an investment, really. We are paying. You could say it's a payment, a transaction, but we are looking for a higher return. But although we may see it as a higher return, we say it is a higher return, but is it really a higher return? Because we have not taken into account the emotional aspect of that which is. So if I wanted to um, purchase something of that equaled £35, but I thought, okay, if I buy this thing for £35, I won't be able to get that other item for £75. So I am sacrificing that gratification, or that I am forbidding myself of getting that item so that I could enjoy that £75 pound item. So we see it as a higher investment or a higher return. But it's not only that. I believe it goes in direct correlation if you were to add the emotional aspect of that gratification, the emotional aspect of prohibiting myself from getting that £35 item. Okay. So let's just move on with this. I'm just trying to say I believe that they are on the same scale, but just that we tend to not really take the full scope into consideration. Okay, and so we see it as really like an unfair aspect, and sometimes we see it as an injustice. We don't see it on we don't see it on the same spectrum as 10, whereas 10 is really there to show us the characteristics, the male and female, the polarities of that which is. Okay, so of course, 10 here is divisible. We would say so, two fives are 10. So we only could have five right here, 5 and 2. Okay, 5 and 2, which is um, Jesus Christ. 7. Okay, so this is one aspect of that I wanted to really share. And so the other thing is, so I am seeing, okay, let's finish with the tens. So we have three tens here, three tens. So this is, yeah, not to be too confused, but this is that 10 here. Three tens, which is also denoting, showing the correlation with Christ dying at the age of 33. So 33 also equals the number 6. So we have, let's stick that here. 33 equals 6. So we see here the 6, meaning when you have the new spirit, the Christ spirit, 6 here is also reflective in that number 6, where you become a fox, like I would say. Also, with 3 5s, 15, 1 and 5 also equals 6. So we see the number 6 being reflected in two areas here. Now, also, as I say, this 3 5s here, 3 5s, 15, which is equal 15 equals 6. I find it very intriguing that it is central right here, central to that which is new. So this is denoting there is something in our psyche, or which has been birthed with us from whenever, that really means that no matter what, we have the seed within us to become that new, to express that newness. So it would seem like Christ coming to die is a reflection that we can identify with, because we are already 15 here in the middle. We already have that seed of newness within us. We were born with that 3 5s 15 here. We were born those sinners. We have that new element within us. In fact, perhaps it's fair to say there cannot be new unless there was old. So when we are sinners, of course, we see ourselves as the old Adam, the old, oh, Adam. Interesting. In fact, I believe I have done Adam. Let's take off this. I believe I've done Adam, and let's see what Adam comes to. ADAM. So we have 1, 4, 1, 4. Wow. Now that is interesting. Wow. This is delicious. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. I'm seeing another pattern. ADAM. Okay. 1, 4, 1, 4. This is in direct, exactly what I have been saying, but I am seeing the pattern is showing very much here. So numbers 1 to 4, 1 to 4, and of course equals 1 and 4, 5, 1 and 4, 5 equals 10. So basically the sacrifice is in direct correlation with number 10. Isn't this delicious? Wow, I love the sound. It's like getting an applaud here with the phone buzzing. Okay, so I'm thinking this is really, really delicious. So Adam 1 to 4, and it's again 1 to 4, it's twice. So it is saying that, um, of course, twice, the number 2, which I have been curious about, perhaps it's telling us, because this is 2 times here, because 2 might be reflective of that which we have been blessed with, that basket or bucket of bread and wine here. Okay, but 10. Now, there's the other thing with the word sinners. Let's use a different pen here just to show this. So we have SINNER. Let's do it here. NERS. Okay, so we have sinners here, which comes to 8. Okay, we said that comes to 8. Right. But also having that 3 15s here, we had on the sides 9 and 1 is 10. So this is where we have that 9 and 1 here. And also on the other side, let's take off Adam for now. We also have 1 and 9. So we see another pattern transpiring here. So 9, let's put it in 1 9 and 9 1. So that is also in direct correspondence with my previous presentation, where I am seeing a relation, the relation between the 0, we come to that 8 because we are sinners. We come to that 8 where we have the potential. It is also showing the sinner is the one who gets to that heaven and earth. But you have to go for that new, because that new is already there anyway. It's really going through the process. It's already within us. Okay. And perhaps that's why we are often told that the answer of what we want is already within us. Everything we need to know is already within us. So there we have that 0. So we see how 9 is the relation of 1, 1, and also, so it's as if, I'm going to explain this again. Let's see how best I can bring this image across. So 8 is really a twisted circle. 8 is a twisted circle. Imagine it was a rubber band that you twisted. So instead of us going through a cycle going round like this, because of our illusions or disobedience or whatever you want to call it, we end up going through it like this. But when we finish a cycle and we understand we have gone through a cycle, it's we see we have gone through a cycle, then it becomes whole. There is a sense of wholeness. We can see that wholeness, and then we are ready to move into a new dimension. Depending on what spectrum of a mirror, of life's mirror that we are looking into, we are either seeing ourselves on that 9, or we are also seeing ourselves as that 10. We have left one cycle and we are beginning another new cycle. So there's the interplay with 8, 9, and 10. So, wow. But also, um, it's the 35 corresponding with 35 here. So we see when we are a new creature, from new to that number 9, we are completing another cycle. That's another cycle. But I am also getting the impression that there are cycles and intercycles of these numbers or values. So I'm just looking to see how else we could look at this. Again, that is also showing the totality of that 8 that transpires here, 8, because from 5, as we say, from that new creature, we are just going through the motion here. There is no manipulation here. We are going through that cycle right here. Wow, wow. And of course, so this is why we are told that Christ has come to pay the price, meaning the Satan, meaning, but it's really that cycle is showing us, look, it's telling us, it's always presenting us. Do you want to leave that cycle and start a new cycle? To go into that one? Which is when you come to that realization, you could say you're halfway there, because 5 and 5 is 10. Again, reflecting in that too, because we have already had that too. We know, we are familiar with that too. We have, it's a number of unity, a number of harmony, a number of um, connectivity, partnership. So we've already had a partnership here already. So we can either use that partnership to continue, or we break the cycle and we go on like this. Wow. I am hoping that you have got what I got from this. It is very fascinating. Okay, but I am really intrigued. In fact, these numbers are so so balanced. That's the word. It's so balanced that it could almost make you happy to be a sinner, because there's a degree of balance here. When we find that balance, but I suppose it's really when you find that new aspect within you, then you know your balance. So just to summarize, we have the word Satan, because we bring in Satan because we know Satan was the root of us being sinners. We bring in sinners because we know that that was the cause of Christ being crucified. And of course, we have brought in sacrifice because we are trying to understand that life spectrum that we are on, how it impacts our lives, how we have become number six, how we have become the fox, how we become a new creature when we accept the number five. We become a new creature in Christ because five is the Christ spirit, the number for Christ. And when we acknowledge that, we see when we acknowledge that, we can see that we are in a new dimension. This is where we are going. This is to my right. And that's why I say perhaps this is why we are often told, oh, the right side, concentrate on the right side. There's something about the right. And we are moving towards the right and towards the back, your back, the left is really the 10 because when you have the 10, when you're in 10, it is beckoning you to make a decision to start a new cycle because we are talking about harmony. So the 10 is showing a distinction of the characteristics of whether it was male, female, or up and down, but it is showing the characteristics of that which has to come into union to become one, to become whatever it is we. So it is also when the the 10 comes together and mirrors in partnership with the two structures of that which is, it is presenting to us, it is telling us subconsciously maybe that this is where we need to get to, but that this is where we need to get to is the outcome of that journey that we are looking to accomplish, that goal we are looking to establish. So again, we see that from 5 to 9, when we add these digits, comes to 35. 3 and 5 is equal 8. 8 is the number of infinity, up and down. As in the heaven, so it is in the earth. In fact, I also did the numerical value just a minute ago on heaven, and I was quite surprised here. Heaven. Let's do this. Heaven. So we have 10, 5 and 5, 10 and 4, 14 and 1, 15, 15 and 5, 20, and this is 28. So heaven is 28. We have the cycle in the feminine cycle, which I can't say it was all heaven, but there's much more to 28. Okay, let's leave it on that one. So this is 10. So we see here heaven is also showing 10, and it's also saying to us, reminding me of the scripture verse, as in the heavens so it is in the earth. So basically it's mirroring, and this is a strong statement to make, but I'm going by the figures that has just been shown to me. It is saying if Satan is 10, although Satan's construct here varies to the 28, Satan is a direct 10. There is no adding or the two digits or anything like that. He is just, but heaven also is showing 10 in the number 28. So it's showing a certain cycle that takes place, a certain construct or whatever it is. But however, the numerical value still equals 1 in the end for heaven and 1 in the earth for Satan. Wow. I think I'm going to end this presentation on that because this is really we'd say heavy, but this is really delicious. It is delicious. Hence, we are told whatever you bind in the heavens, you bind in the earth. It's not saying when you do, then afterwards you do that in the heavens. This is really delicious. It is saying whatever you bound in the heavens, you already have bound it in the earth. Whatever you have loosed in the heavens, you have also loosed in the earth. Well, sorry, I'm pointing different ways. But it is really showing the energy. Again, it's like our bodies, if you like, I think is also a representation. It's like one's head and one's feet. Actually, I'll just quickly do head and feet because I believe I have done that before, and there is also another message in there. So let me just quickly do that before I end on this presentation. Okay, just head, HEAD, that's 8514. Okay, so that's 13, 14, and 4 is 18. There we go. There we go. 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So we see a 9 reflecting here. And let's do feet because I'm talking about heaven and earth. Feet. Feet. We see, so that's 6, 5, 5, 2. So 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Directly 18 again. So 9, 9. So we see how numerology is really playing out. Head, it's 9. And I'm going to do in the future other presentations showing the parts of the body and see how numerology is really in our makeup. And so I'm excited about this because I've played with this, and that's why I remember the head and the feet, and if I remember clearly, hand as well. So we see again where we were talking of north, south, east, west, where you go through the total um, exnial, having to have that relation with one point to another. So I am excited about this. I hope you have found this fun. I hope you have enjoyed this. And I hope you have, just get the gist of the essence of what have been conveyed in this presentation. So if you like this presentation, remember to click the like button and share because this is how we do it. We share to actualize in soulful love. Okay? In the meantime, stay blessed and stay ignited.